This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all of you. Can you all see the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So next portion is abbreviated new drug application. So we discussed like how the drug discovery and the clinical research, preclinical research, then we need to apply to the regulatory authority, and how we apply is by means of an application called new drug application. So once the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is successfully completed, the sponsor has to apply to the regulatory authority, to the respective regulatory authority in like each nation. They have to apply with the help of this new drug application. So in that new drug application, the sponsor has to mention all the details regarding the particular new chemical entity and all the preclinical data as well as the clinical data of phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And they have to submit this application along with all the information to the regulatory authority, and they will go through it and give the approval. So there is something called as abbreviated new drug application. So from the name itself, we can understand abbreviated means it is kind of a less steps are involved, or it is kind of small, minimized. So there is something called as abbreviated new drug application. So this particular application is mainly to bring the generic drugs into the market. So when we go to hospitals, we can see that, especially the government hospital, we can see that drugs are prescribed as generic names or generic drugs are prescribed. So what is the advantage of this generic drugs? We have studied in hospital pharmacy and all in previous years. Generic drugs are cheaper, and it is mainly to mainly it is these drugs are brought to the market to treat chronic illnesses, and so that the burden of illness or the mm, the expenses that a nation spends to treat a kind of any particular chronic infection or a chronic disorder can be reduced by means of this introduction of generic drugs. So this generic drugs introduction is especially to reduce the expenses, because we know that generic drugs are always less costly than the reference drug, or we call the other the drug that is already being marketed, the brand drug, we call it as innovator drug or reference drug. So generic drugs are always less expensive or less costly than the brand name drugs. So these brand name drugs are otherwise called as innovator drug or reference drug. So especially that is the intention for bringing out this generic version of the drug. So in order to manufacture this generic version of the drug, the sponsor, it may not be the same person who has brought the brand drug into the drug. Any other small scale manufacturing companies can also apply for this abbreviated new drug application to bring out the reference drug, or to bring out the generic version of a reference drug or a brand drug of any other company's product. So it is not always the original manufacturer of the brand drug who will bring out this generic drug. It can also be some other agents, some other small scale manufacturing companies also can apply to the regulatory authority to bring out the generic version of an existing brand drug which is manufactured or which is marketed by any other manufacturing company. So in order to manufacture or market the generic version, they have to apply through this portal called as abbreviated new drug application. So we'll go through what all things we have to see. So here we are mainly focusing on the US FDA steps on how they are bringing out the abbreviated new drug. So they have to give a written request to the US Drug Administration, US Food and Drug Administration, US FDA. So US FDA is the regulatory agency of United States where like, they will regulate the manufacture of the drug. So they have to submit a written request uh, to manufacture as well as market the generic drug. And why it is abbreviated? Because they do not, the applicant, whoever is applying for the this particular application, they don't have to do the clinical trial all again, like from the very first steps to the last. They don't have to do it all together. So they have to just submit some less information than the new drug application. So I think we covered new drug application and we saw what all data we have to submit during a new drug application. So in abbreviated new drug application, we don't have to submit all those information. We need information, but like when compared to new drug application, you don't have to go give all the details of the particular drug. So that is why it is called as abbreviated new drug application. We don't have to give every information pertaining to the particular drug. All the clinical as well as preclinical information is not required. Then we can see that in US we have they have something called as Orange Book. So in that Orange Book, they will publish all the drug that has ever been marketed into the that has ever been brought to the market. So sometimes 2 marks questions can be asked. What is Orange Book? So Orange Book is a compilation of it is Orange Book is it is in like we don't have Orange Book. India or any other country, we don't call it as Orange Book. Like US, their compilation of all the approved products as well as all the approved products along with their therapeutic equivalence evaluation, they will publish. So that is called as Orange Book. So this generic version of the drug will also be listed in that. So if at all, if ANDA is approved, abbreviated new drug application for the generic version of any other brand drug, if it is approved, this generic drug will be listed in the Orange Book. So we don't have to Orange Book is what I'm trying to say is Orange Book is not just confined to the original reference drug or the brand drug. Even the generic version that has been approved will be included in the Orange Book. So Orange Book is a compilation of all the medicines that the US FDA has approved, and along with the therapeutic equivalence evaluation, it will be there. So the approved products, both the innovator drug as well as the generic, will be listed in the Orange Book. So Orange Book, like 2 mark questions can be asked. What is Orange Book? So it is a compilation of all the approved products in the US. So here we need to remember that even the generic version of the drug that's been marketed will also be included in the Orange Book. Then what are the requirements? What are the requirements of a generic drug? So when we are applying for the generic version of the drug, we have to provide them with evidence that it is the same active ingredient and it will be given through the same route, and the dosage form will be same, the strength will be same, the indication for use will be the same, and all the inactive ingredients should be already approved in similar new drug applications. So the inactive ingredients should not be, it is not necessary that it should be as same as that is used in the brand version. So it can be inactive ingredients, we know, like all the excipients. The excipients are also it has also all the excipients also should be proved to be it should be edible, like it is approved. Like we cannot simply try with different excipients. It should already has to be approved, or it should be in use in the particular country. So the inactive ingredients may not be the same as that is used in the brand version, but the inactive ingredient should be that is already in use in the particular country. So these are the basic generic drug requirements we can see. The active ingredient should be the same. The route of administration should be the same. Then dosage form, strength, as well as indication. should be the same. The inactive ingredient can be different, but it has to be already in use. We cannot go for a new inactive ingredient or new type of excipient that is not ever used. We cannot go for that, but that inactive ingredient should be approved. Then the objectives of abbreviated new drug application. So why we have to go for this when already a brand drug is available? Why we have to again go for a generic version? So it is mainly to reduce the price of the drug. So we know that generic drugs are always cheaper than the brand drugs. So the burden of illness to a community or a nation can be reduced, if, especially in developing countries. These generic drugs are very important because it will be accessible to people, even poor people, and all can benefit out of it very much. So that is one main reason for abbreviated new drug application. It will bring out the generic version so that the price of the drug will be reduced. Next is to reduce the time development. We can see that before this ANDA came into place, before the introduction of the abbreviated new drug application process, how they were doing is they had to, again, even if they are bringing out the generic version of a brand drug, they had to go through all the steps right from the preclinical part. So drug discovery is already done. So that particular new chemical agent which is already in the market, if they want to bring out the generic version, they had to start all the way from the preclinical time. So the animal study they have to repeat, then the clinical phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 they have to repeat. So if these will lead to duplication of the works. So when duplication of work happens, what is the result? We will lose a lot of time, resources, and also we know that during the introduction classes and what we discussed how expensive the clinical research is. It actually it is very time consuming, and since a lot of resource persons are involved, their time is lost, and also a lot of money is involved, a lot of equipments they have to use, a lot of steps are there. So in order to reduce all these, in order to avoid the duplication of work, this particular idea of abbreviated new drug application came into existence. So that is another objective, to reduce the time development, and also to avoid duplication of work, or to avoid unnecessary investment again. So that is again one of the objective of ANDA. Then to increase the bioavailability. So in generic, when so we discussed what all information we need to submit for abbreviated new drug application. So we don't have to give all the details of preclinical or different human studies, but the one of the main key information that we have to submit for abbreviated new drug application is that we have to, whoever is submitting, they have to ensure that this particular uh, drug is bioequivalent to the brand version. So we know that already the brand product is available. So we are preparing the generic version of that. We have applied for the we have sought permission to market the generic version of that drug. So we have to show that this particular generic version is bioequivalent to the already available brand product. So when we go for this bioequivalent studies, uh, we have to, when we are doing this bioequivalence study, we are also trying to modify the bioavailability. So in the ANDA studies, in generic, to bring out the generic version study, drug to the market, we go for this bioequivalence study. So when we perform this bioequivalence study, we will find ways to increase, to improve the bioavailability. So that is another objective of ANDA. So generic versions, some of the generic versions will be having uh, more bioavailability when compared to the brand products. So that is also one another objective of ANDA. So these are the objectives of ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. One is to reduce the cost of the drug, to the consumer. especially to the consumer. Consumer can get it at a get the same drug at a reduced price. So that is one main objective. Then another major objective is the time of development, because before the ANDA process or idea came were there, they were going through the process, or like all duplication works were done. So that can be avoided because this particular province is now available. Then another important objective is it will increase the bioavailability, because only main information that we submit for the approval of a generic version is the bioequivalence studies. When we are performing with all these bioequivalence studies, they are also trying to increase the bioavailability of the generic. It has to be bioequivalent. So generic but drug has to be either we have to prove that it is bioequivalent, and either it is equally bioequivalent as the brand product, or it has to be even more bioequivalent, like even more bioavailability is there with the generic version. So to increase the bioavailability, so these are the main objectives of uh, abbreviated new drug application. So if we compare the innovator and the generic version, these are the uh, similarities and differences. So the active ingredient is always the same. Safety and efficacy is also same. Then performance and standards should be same. The only difference is cost, where the brand product will be more expensive and the generic version will be less expensive. Then all the other processes, such as the regulatory authority inspection, will be there, especially during the manufacturing process. The manufacturing unit will be inspected, and they will check for whether it is done in accordance with the good manufacturing practice, whether all the equipments are good. All those things will be checked by the regulatory authority. Then report of adverse reaction also, even that is why we can see that in the uh, post-marketing surveillance, we can see whatever is made available to the market, we have to give the ADR report. So in ADR report, if you have ever filled, there will be a column where we have to mention which is the company and what is the batch. So from all these, they will be able to identify whether it is a brand product or whether it is a generic product. So same, we can see that for generic products also, the ADR report will be done. Then the drug labeling. The drug labeling also has to be given. So in drug labeling, we know what all things, whatever is the active ingredient, and also the main excipients we have to mention, the dose, everything, the name, indication, and all should be the same. So for generic version as well as the innovative version, the labeling requirements are all same, and the FDA will have to verify it and then approve it. So we can see here that all the parameters, the innovator and the generic version is same, except that we can see that the cost part, we can see that the innovator will be more expensive and the generic will be less expensive. Then if we compare the new drug application and the abbreviated new drug application, we can see that there are some differences. So new drug application is application for new drug, and AND abbreviated new drug application means it is the application for generic drug. So new drug application will be taking a long time, 12 to 15 years. Why? Because we have studied, we discussed, like it will take, we need all these preclinical things has to be done, and phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. All this will take time. So 12 to 15 years it will take. Whereas in case of generic drug, because for new drug application, we discussed like we need the information, all those information has to be submitted. But to bring a generic version to the market, we don't have to submit all the information. We just need the bioequivalence studies. So the bioequivalence studies, just the bioequivalence studies has to be performed. So it will take only around 1 to 2 years. Then, because the new drug application, we know that since it is a time-consuming process and lot of steps are involved, it will be like more money has to be spent on that. Whereas ANDA comparatively less. in cost of drug more and the cost of drug less. Then in case of new drug application, both non-clinical as well as clinical study is essential. In ANDA, non-clinical is not non-clinical and also clinical is not essential. The major thing that we are submitting is the bioequivalence study. Then viability and bioequivalence studies are important in case of new drug application, but ANDA we have to focus more on the bioequivalence study. So these are the comparisons you can see in case of new drug application and the abbreviated new drug application. Now, how like this came into being? So this was first ANDA that it was first established in 1970 in, by the Food and Drug Administration, and so in 1970 they started this province of ANDA and review as well as the approval. So before that, they have to like before this particular before that time they have to submit all the complete safety and efficacy to the clinical trial, and they were also supposed to publish a report of the trial. So this ANDA for review and approval generic version they started in 1970, and till 1978, whenever the generic approval ANDA they submit, they have to keep all these information. But after 1978, we can see that the published report of the clinical trial has to be submitted, and along with that maybe the bioequivalence study also. Then what led to these ANDA? So there is something called as Hatch-Waxman Amendment. So during this particular discussion happened, that is the Hatch-Waxman Amendment. So they established that these amendments established that bioequivalence should be the basis for approving the generic copies of drug products. So before that, here we can see that in 1970, even though they brought this ANDA abbreviated new drug application for review and approval of the generic version, till 1978, they had to submit all the complete safety and efficacy of the generic version through clinical trial. But after 1978, some relaxation were given, and later in 1984, something called as Hatch-Waxman, which is also called as the Drug Price Competition and Patent Term Restoration Act of 1984. So during this particular amendment, they established that like bioequivalence can be the basis for approving the generic version of the drug products. So like because of this amendment only, the FDA they were able to approve the application to market the generic version based upon the bioequivalence studies. And what is the benefit? So they don't have to repeat the costly and the duplicative clinical trial again to establish the safety and efficacy. So that is the main reason. So bioequivalence study is enough so that they can avoid this expensive as well as duplicative work again to establish the safety and efficacy. This amendment, what all things they took decision on. So they had to, these companies, whoever has brought the drug first to the market, they have this patent for this particular product. So their patency period, a couple of years will be there. After that, only any company will be able to market the generic version. So whichever company has brought the innovative drug or the brand drug into the market, they have this patency for the particular drug for a period of few years. So after this patency period is over, then only any other company can bring out the generic version, or only then they can even apply for the um, bioequivalency study of the generic version of the particular innovator drug. So, so all these were discussed during this particular amendment, and they have made it that only bioequivalence study is required. Then there is no need of clinical trial. Then some changes in the uh, already they were having this ANDA from 1970s. So some changes, some certifications is done. Then, what are some of the conditions we can see for the, because this is of US, we don't have much information. I'll see, I don't know what is Bolar provision. I'll see and explain. Then, what are the conditions of like what all aspects we have to see when we bring out a generic version. So the identity, strength, quality, and purity has to be established. Then efficacy and safety will be already will be same as that of the brand. Mainly what we have to focus on, we have to focus the identity, strength, quality, and purity. So apart from the bioequivalence part, we have to focus on the identity, strength, quality, and purity. It has to meet the appropriate standards. We can see that for certain molecules, we have studied the limit test. So that limit test and all has to be passed. Then only we can, like similarly, there will be other tests. So to ensure the quality of the particular product. So all those appropriate standards has to be met. The product has to meet the appropriate standards of all these. Then only we can go for approval. Then what all information has to be filled? One is the product's formulation you know, then manufacturer's procedure. Procedure can be different from that of the innovator product. Then what are the control procedure? How it is tested? Then the manufacturing unit, what all facilities, whether they have used facilities of standard, then what is the dissolution profile of the drug, then the labeling requirements. All these information has to be given when filing for abbreviated new drug application. So the product's formulation, manufacturer's procedure, control procedure, testing facilities, dissolution profile, and also the labeling. Then the patent certification, like before filing an ANDA, they have to get these patent certification. So any of these, there are 4 certifications. So any of these certification, the whoever is submitting the ANDA, they have to mention. So from the Orange Book, they can get the patency status of the particular drug. The patency status of any brand drug in US will be available in the Orange Book. So based upon, by referring to the Orange Book, whoever is applying for the AND, they have to gain any of these certificate. So certificate 1 is if certificate 1 means there is no patent for the drug that is listed in the Orange Book. Or maybe the patency period is over, or the manufacturer has not applied for the patency of the brand name or the innovator drug. So certification 1 means there is no patent. Certificate 2 means patent was listed but now it is expired. So they can go for that. Then certification 3 is patent is listed. So the generic version can be brought to the market once the patent expires. So that is patent certification 3. Then there is patent certificate 4. So this patent certificate 4 is mentioned in the here the so here the particular whoever is manufacturing the generic version, they will get around 180 days right to market the generic version. So the patency is still valuable or it is still present. And whoever is submitting the ANDA, once if they get the permission, they will get the right to manufacture the particular generic version for 180 days. So this right will be exclusive. Exclusive right to manufacture the drug for 180 days will be given to the applicant of the ANDA. So if they violate any of these or if they are not adhering to this patent certification, again the main the sponsor or the marketing company who has brought the brand drug into the market, they can file case against this the people who have violated the patency rule. So Orange Book, this we discussed before. Like all the products, approved products with therapeutic equivalence and evaluation will be listed in the Orange Book. So this is of US FDA. So this is the process of like how the ANDA will be reviewed. So applicant will be submitting the ANDA application and the regulatory agent, they will see whether it is acceptable and whether the application is complete. If it is not, again they'll revert it back and again the applicant has to review it. Then what they will go for the bioequivalent review. Even chemistry and microbiological review will be done. Then once they do this review, they will go for the plant inspection, request for plant inspection. Plant inspection means where the manufacturing of the generic version is done. Then once the plant inspection and the labeling review is, then they will see whether the bioequivalent data that they have submitted is acceptable or not. Then if it is not acceptable, they will give a deficiency letter. So what has been wrong, or what more information or what else has to be done. All those things will be mentioned there. Then again, if it is acceptable, they will go for a pre-approval inspection acceptance. Again, one more inspection will be done. After that, they will give ANDA approved. Otherwise, again, the approval, uh, if the inspection has, if they have found some deficiency during the inspection, again, the approval will be deferred. So until satisfactory results are submitted, they will not give approval. So this is the ANDA review process. So the applicant has to submit the ANDA form, and if it is acceptable and complete, they will go for the bioequivalent review as well as the chemistry and microbiological review. Then after that, after if it is found satisfactory, they will again go for the plant inspection, so where they will go and inspect the manufacturing place, and also the labeling review will be done simultaneously. Then if the bioequivalent review is acceptable, then they will again go for a pre-approval inspection, and if they found it approved, if they found it satisfactory, it will get approved. Otherwise, a bioequivalent deficiency letter will be submitted, so they can correct it and apply again. So this is the process of ANDA review. So this is abbreviated new drug application. The main thing you have to remember here is it is to bring the generic version into the drug. So in order to bring the generic version, the main focus is on the bioequivalence study. So we have to, whoever is applying, they have to ensure that the particular drug in the same strength when it is given, it will be available in the same quantity in the blood as that of the brand name within the same time. So that is in bioavailability definition. When you study, you will know. Like bioavailability means how much is available in the blood after administration of the drug. So the bioequivalence means like if we administer the same strength of the drug, maybe with different excipients, and if the same quantity is available in the blood within that same time, then we can say that the particular drug is bioequivalent to the brand product. So uh, bioequivalency has to be proved. So bioequivalence study results has to be submitted for the application of the generic version. So that is the main thing we need to remember. Then they have to, apart from the bioequivalence study result, they have to also adhere to the patent rules. So if already patency status is on, then they have to wait for it, or otherwise they have to even get permission from the original sponsor or the original company, and sometimes they may get a 180-day generic drug exclusivity to market it. So these two things are important. So the objective is we need to, like in order to reduce the expense and in order to avoid duplication of work, we will go for this abbreviated new drug application. So that is it. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. And